Baked on a boat is today's MV. Welcome, 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 you bean-boozled beans. It is time for another day, another beautiful spotlight. It is time to be baked on a bean. That doesn't make any sense. But we gon' we gonna jump right. Oh, we gonna jump right in. What's a Tribeca? Tribeca, usually they're an organization that is known for like their film judging and film festivals. They're very artsy, so we're probably gonna see a lot of very artsy games. But welcome in, Apex. Welcome in. So we yeah, today I think we're getting very artsy games. Very artsy games. That's what I feel like we're gonna have here. So definitely get ready for that. Definitely get ready for some artsy. For some artsy stuff. Let's see what we get here.
The city is back.
The Persona 3 remake was leaked. There you go. There you go. There it is.
Festival that really gets
there
the
it
soul
is.
And the heart
it exists.
of downtown New York filmmaking.
Oh, it's in New York. I didn't even know.
It's about the vibrance and the culture of New York, and we.
Hey, this is about the movies. Where are the games?
Immersive experience.
They're talking about. Okay, here we go.
Share our narratives now differently.
Which means that either
there are so
a
many
publicity stunt or someone got fired. I'd say this close to the announcement, probably someone got fired.
Every time I wanted to relax, every time
probably
I
someone's
wanted
getting
to
fired.
step out of the world for a bit.
Because it's too close.
You know,
it's too close. Like
I'm like, I don't want to read
when you get it, if they were gonna announce it during
interactive
these
adventure.
events anyway,
I want to
it's too
feel
close
like
for it
I'm
to be a
part of the
publicity
story.
stunt. Like people are already expecting.
And my game is Despelote.
What in the world?
Goodbye, Volcano High.
Oh yeah,
Gods?
that one. That one was
a Highland song.
Chunks of Sinnoh.
Are they just spoiling all the games already?
The Expanse.
Are they spoiling all the games from the conference?
Welcome to Tribeca Games.
A Highland
I must
song.
have climbed the hill behind the house 100 times. I know every stone.
Oh, this is the Dadman game. Dadman is from the Highlands.
But
I
after
think.
that hill, there's another. And then another again.
It's a hill game.
And after all that,
It's a Bennett
and
Funny
that's the
game.
and I've never been there.
A Highland Song is a narrative adventure game set in the wilds of the Scottish Highlands.
Hopefully
You
the
play
volume
as
is good for
Moira
you guys.
McKinnon, a teenager on her way to the sea for the first time. But to get there, you're going to have to find your way through the wild mountains and the
They made
valleys.
Heaven's Vault?
You'll have to survive the weather,
Oh.
and you'll learn a bit about the story.
If they made Heaven's Vault, this is gonna be good.
Inkle is an independent game studio based in the UK, and we
Oh,
specialize
they're just
in
going through
narrative
the games. I don't even
so we
know.
make games in all
How's
sorts of
everybody doing,
genres.
by the way?
But our main focus is on games that tell really strong stories.
Yeah, this one was insane. They literally
Our most
created a
famous
whole new
game
language.
is probably 80 Days, an adaptation of Jules Verne's classic novel.
The main hook of 80 Days is that you
Wait,
can
how
go
many games are
around
they
the world
talking
any
about?
way you like. The way that Highland Song works is extremely similar to 80 Days. You start in
Oh,
one
okay, I see what
particular
they're doing.
point,
They're talking about their
and
previous
you can choose all sorts of different routes through the Highlands in order to reach your goal. But it also ends at a single point because you're trying to reach the lighthouse where your Uncle Hamish lives by the sea.
Finding the
At
right
least 2
gameplay
games total.
for a
Yeah, I
game
think they
like
were talking
Highland
about
Song
their
can be really
previous
difficult.
games.
Gameplay is
And this
usually
one's
built
just
around
a new
loops
one.
and patterns, but good narratives aren't made out of loops. We want to make sure that the character isn't doing anything just for the sake of gameplay, but everything the character's doing has to make sense within the narrative.
Lord.
So the reason that we've essentially created our very first platforming game is that it just makes sense for the character within this scenario to be jumping and scrambling over rocks. And it even has a rhythm action mechanic.
Ooh, rhythm.
So in many ways, it's the most gamey game that we've ever created.
Moira's platforming abilities in a Highland Song are quite realistic. She has a limited amount of time that she can climb.
She gets tired.
She gets hurt if she falls too far. She can rest.
She
to recover
dies.
Her strength.
What if she
gets
dies,
affected
though?
by weather and affected by nighttime and affected by cold. A lot of our mechanics are built around the tension between knowing where you are and being lost. We have a map mechanic, which is all about that. It's about finding little pockets of knowledge, learning the names.
So it literally
of
is
peaks,
Bennett
and understanding
Foddy
the history
getting
of
over
the
it
peaks to
with
help
the story.
you find your way through this world.
It's Bennett Foddy with the story, but probably easier.
At Tinkle, we've always loved hand-drawn 2D illustration.
Say at Tinkle?
We love how expressive it can be, especially for characters. Even when we made 3D games, we still had 2D characters because we loved the overall effect.
You can be picked up by a eagle.
I grew up in Scotland. When I was a teenager,
Did it just
I
start?
went
It
up
did,
into the
Mama
Scottish
Kira. It
Highlands
did.
with
It
3
did.
friends, and
then on the ground
we
floor.
got lost, and we had to stumble through rivers and bogs. It was really quite a chilling, scary experience. My parents are art historians, and there was always one painting in particular that they had that I used to love as a child. It had a little ruined castle by a loch and these Scots pine
well, you can
trees
just see the whole
and
inspiration
this
right there.
golden brown color palette that was just so
Have a
characteristic
good one, Mama
of the
Kiri,
region.
have a good
And so
one.
going for a really painterly aesthetic was a way to capture that. The more modern take on that is the digital paintings of concept artists such as Paul Scott Canavan, who we worked with on this project. And he came up with this really beautiful way of hand painting rocks and trees and grass and then assembling them as a huge collage, but then all built up so that the
This
overall
one
effect
is
of a painting coming to life.
When people play a Highland song, I really want them to come away
Highland song,
with a strong
Highland
sense
song.
of the place, the Highlands.
It's made by the same people that made Heaven's
There's
Vault,
this
which I
tension
really
in
want to
that
play.
place between being full of story and history and the marks left behind by people, whether that's ruined farmhouses or whether that's just the names attached to the
It's
various
interesting the
peaks
depth
of the
here. It
story
seems like
behind
you'll be
those
able to
names,
walk on
which
every
often go
layer
back a very,
almost.
very long way indeed.
When I first kind of conceived of the game, I tried to forget everything about what games we'd made as a studio before, what games are out there, and I just tried to imagine what do I want on my Switch for
It's
me
kind of cool
to
that it's
play
all
right
hand
now.
painted.
And
Did you say on my Switch?
pretty much a Highland song as the way it looks and feels popped into my head, and I
Switch
can't be
confirmed?
prouder of what we've created.
Yeah, so these are all going to be very artsy games, and they're going to explain the artsiness. This one has been shown a lot. I was surprised it didn't pop up earlier. This is the Dino Furry, well, the Dino Scaly game
Co-op
band.
is a game studio that's based originally in Montreal, but is now remote and worldwide. It is a cooperative.
Basically, that means that we make all major decisions
Yeah.
together.
Well, it's the Scaly
We
game.
decide whether
Dad
we want
Man
to
also
work
hello.
4 days or 5 days.
It's the Scaly
Spoiler
game.
alert, we decided to do 4 days a long time ago.
We present
'Cause they're all
concepts when we
dinos.
are starting to put together
Or a feathery game, I
and
guess,
we all
'cause
vote on
dinosaurs
what we
are birds.
think is what everybody would like to work on.
And you feel more attached to what you're making because you voted for it, you chose it.
It was really important for us to feel like this was a different space where people actually could be the voices behind the games that we make.
We are the makers
Yeah,
of
they've shown this game
some
quite a few
charming,
times
fun
before.
games like Winding Worlds and Nog and the upcoming Goodbye Volcano High.
Goodbye Volcano High is a
They,
cinematic visual novel about dinosaurs in their final year of high school. At the start of the year, they find out that a meteor is coming. And the game is about asking yourself, what would you do if you had 1 year left? Who would you be? Who would you want to love? And how would you want to go out?
I vote yes.
I don't think this is a voting type situation.
I mean, it does kind of belong to all of us. Or it was supposed to.
It's all
It does.
voice acted.
You did a great job.
So, what do you say, Fang?
We chose dinosaurs for Goodbye Volcano High for a couple of reasons.
This is your water
Originally,
taste
when
now
we
that it's
presented
been
the game to everybody else,
stored
it
in
was
Hunter's
meant to
chest.
be a dating sim because, like, at the time, this was kind of like the hot thing to work
What?
on. Was dating sims, and then we were like, hold up, here's the hook.
What do you mean?
It's a dating sim with dinosaurs at the end of the world. As soon as you start talking about a meteor, even though the characters are unsure what's gonna happen, you know it's gonna happen.
And that was really important to us
You're all
because we
gonna
wanted
die.
to make something that
What
could
do you
tap
mean by
into
that?
the anxiety of our current
Water tastes like
times.
water.
And Dinosaurs was a really great way to create that metaphor instantly.
As it went on and we became kind of more ambitious and more interested in making what we actually like, we were like, what if it's
really?
an anime
Oh.
and we tell a story that isn't necessarily so focused on dating, but really goes deep into the emotional aspects of the end of the world.
So high school already feels like it's the end of the world to most people, so it wasn't really that hard to hone in on the teen angst. It's really the hope that's tricky to encapsulate.
High school to me is all about that.
This is a cute little
sweet balance of
group
doom
of
and
devs.
hope.
Like
Hope
they
for the
seem
better
like they're
future, hope
chill
for the
and
dreams
they're
we chase
fun.
and the ambitions we strive for. Those are things that can feel impossible to cling to, especially
You know?
with something that can't be stopped and feels
Right, this is
inevitable,
an
like
interesting
a giant meteor
concept.
hitting you.
Especially since it's all voice acted too.
Reacted to the news
Like it's a
of a
big
previously
project.
unknown space object this morning.
So, how do you deal with that?
It starts off very joking. They're kind
'Cause
of making
it's a very
gallows humor
human
jokes.
story.
The whole space
And
rock
we're talking
potential
about this
demise
before.
of
It's-
civilization thing. My chosen theme feels off.
What's the theme?
Using this year to, make an impact.
Our
Wait,
characters all
is
have
this
different
game full of sexy?
Some double down on their
No, they're not.
ambitions to reach
They're
accomplish their dreams
underage,
worth
Dad,
sway.
man.
Others slow down and decide to save
They're
what time they have
underage.
left, regardless of what their dreams are.
We can still win Battle of the Bands, asteroid or not.
The player character essentially
Rods,
ends
I'm
up
flying
being
into
who you
Newark
are.
on
You
Tuesday.
end up
Yo,
playing as Fang's
yo, Mama
inner
Kira's gonna be
monologue.
here. Mama Kira's gonna be visiting fam here. That's fun.
I
So they're
think
18.
this means
It's
she's
their
rooting
last
for
year of
us.
high school.
Music is really important to By Volcano High, and I would actually say music is really important to our studio and all of our games. It's core to our DNA, and music is central to the identity of the people who make the game, and so it is central to the identity
It's not
of
central
the
to me,
game
so I'm not.
itself and
I
the
don't
characters
relate.
within.
I don't relate.
There's
This
no
is stupid now.
performance in this game that is
Dial back on the menu, boys.
It
Only
is
have 3 hours layover
essentially
and then
the
going
same
to
as
Cali.
having
Oh, okay.
a scene of dialogue, but you're playing music.
Soon. Roz is just a sexy dino hater. What? No. I mean, I'm no scaly like you guys, but you know. I guess she's a feathery. What do you call a bird furry? Oh, this game gets crazy. Did you see that? It's like a bunch of
Gearing
presses.
up for their future as a musician, and then realizing.
Yeah, Mama
that
Kira,
they
are you
do
going to
not have a
Disneyland?
future
Wait, why
anymore.
would you go to
So
Disney?
those
You have
two
Disney.
things are kind of.
I wish I could get a
clashing in
car
your
and come
brain
see you. That would be
for the
so much
music they're
fun. That would
creating
be so
and
much
singing
fun.
in the game.
But alas, yeah. Drive to see us instead. I
think
wish
every
I
person
could
hopes that
drive
they
to
get
see you
near people they
guys.
love and who understand them and that love them. Those are things people can grasp no matter how much time they have left.
I think that this game really
There's
encourages
tunnels,
people
right?
to
Dude,
be
imagine how
brave,
cool that would be if
to do the brave
tectonic
thing,
plates weren't a thing.
and
And you
love each
could
other
build
and
tunnels
be there
across
for
the
each
Atlantic and the
other,
Pacific.
even when it's
That'd be
scary,
cool.
even when you don't know what's going to happen.
Technically, it is doable. You could make a tunnel that works. Ooh, new game. New game. Oh, they're going crazy. Run disc. Chants
Bonjour,
of
je suis Julien.
Senar.
Bonjour, je suis Thomas. Nous sommes les cofondateurs de Rundisk et nous sommes ici pour vous parler de Chants of Senar.
They speak crazy languages.
Avec Chants of Senar, nous avons voulu proposer une aventure originale basée sur le mythe de Babel. On a essayé de vous plonger dans la peau d'un voyageur qui débarquerait dans un pays complètement inconnu. Tout au long de son ascension, le joueur va rencontrer 5 peuples différents. Chaque peuple a ses propres coutumes, sa propre histoire et évidemment sa propre langue. Comme chacun de ces peuples parle des langues différentes, ça fait des siècles qu'ils ne se comprennent plus. Une partie du jeu et de l'aventure va consister à comprendre les raisons de cette division et peut-être essayer de rétablir l'harmonie dans la tour.
Trying to restore the harmony into
Quand on a compris qu'on voulait travailler sur les langues, on a eu cette idée de s'inspirer de la tour de Babel, parce que c'est un mythe qui est très puissant, qui parle des hommes qui essayaient d'atteindre le ciel en construisant une gigantesque tour. Et ça a déplu aux dieux qui ont décidé de les frapper d'une malédiction en leur faisant tous parler une langue différente. Ce qui est important et original dans le jeu, c'est que les langues sont des puzzles en soi. Pour nous, un mot c'est pareil qu'un levier, une porte, une clé.
Hey Dazzy,
On comprend
welcome
des langues
in,
en
welcome
résolvant
in. How are
des
you
puzzles.
doing?
Et résoudre des puzzles nous permet de comprendre des langues.
You are going to. Is that like the main object of the game of your trip? Is going to Disneyland?
Chant of Sonar est avant tout un jeu d'aventure. Au-delà de l'aspect puzzle, le joueur devra explorer l'environnement, interagir avec différents personnages et participer à des scènes d'action et d'infiltration. Donc on a eu cette idée de créer un héros qui serait plus un traducteur, un diplomate, un scientifique quelque part, et qui soit dans cette démarche de réconciliation. Le personnage lui-même n'est pas un personnage violent, c'est pas un personnage fort, c'est un guerrier. Il va s'en sortir, il va trouver des clés autrement par la violence. C'est important pour nous de montrer ça, puisque quelque part ce qu'on essaie de montrer dans le jeu, ce qu'on essaie de dire dans le jeu, c'est que la violence n'est pas forcément le moyen de tout résoudre.
But at the same time, it's the place where you would get something like Outer Wilds and stuff like that.
Les inspirations artistiques du jeu,
you get some really cool
dans la
games
bande
here as well
dessinée
sometimes.
européenne des années 70-80, puis plus tard on a élargi
They're
les
usually
inspirations du jeu.
interesting
On
at
a
least.
provoqué le
Like,
brutalisme,
even if they're not something that you
l'architecture
would want to
bourbesque,
play, they tend
l'architecture
to always
indienne,
have something
et c'est ce qui nous a
unique
permis de
about
créer
them,
ce
which is
monde un peu
cool.
pluriel. Chant of Sonar est une invitation au voyage, à la tolérance et à l'ouverture sur les autres. D'ordinaire, les langues étrangères sont vues comme un frein. C'est d'ailleurs pour ça qu'on parle de barrière de la langue. Mais dans Chant of Sonar, ce contexte est voué à être dépassé, puisque les langues y sont à la fois l'obstacle et la solution. On espère que vous aurez du plaisir à découvrir la tour, à résoudre ses mystères et à nous aider à réunifier ces peuples. Et évidemment, nous avons hâte d'avoir vos retours.
Nightscape. New game, Nightscape.
Nightscape is a 2.5D atmospheric adventure game where the ancient Arabian night sky loses its light.
You play as Layla, who is an astronomer who just loves to look at the night sky.
As Layla, players wield a magical astrolabe, restoring stars back to constellations in order to seek a path home. A key stellar cast member is the Goat Kid constellation. The Goat Kid decides to accompany Layla in her journey.
These days, people do not know much about constellations and the stories behind them, especially Arabic constellations.
They're different from the Western or the Greek constellations. And so we've had a big research task finding out what those constellations mean, what the backstories are, and finding out how we can turn those ideas into gameplay elements.
The importance of the sky is having this sky-ground connection.
Last elder in my mom's family, so
Layla use the constellations' abilities to solve puzzles and help.
These are more my
Layla
style of game. Yeah, they're very like artsy,
The game
chill,
being
makes you
2.5D,
think.
you can actually walk into the screen. There's a lot there that allow them to make the game very cinematic.
More thoughty games, you know?
This is a brand new experience for me, building a team from the ground up. We found an amazing level designer in Nabil and a coder in Idris. And very recently we found our technical artist in Zaki. And those three are the powerhouse of the studio. And
the powerhouse of the
I
cell.
think it's really genuinely amazing that we found those guys who are willing to work with us in Doha. I was very unsure about the amount of talent for making video games in the Middle East. And I think we got super lucky finding the team that we did.
For me, it all starts with a story and pictures that triggers my imagination. It triggered immediately some music in my mind. Beautiful Middle Eastern melodies to take them in, the makams, to combine them with harmonies, Western influences as well, that it comes together as a blend.
In my mind, designing sound is a bit like playing with clay, like trying to model this clay, this
How's the volume, by
sound,
the way? Is the volume good?
edit, cut. For example, the hook shot is mostly made by a tree branch, the footstep of a scorpion walking, which is a mix of knife and stone. The voice of a scorpion is my voice, actually. And then overly processed.
Sounds good. Okay,
when the scorpion died.
Now is it too low? I lowered it slightly because I
Trying
thought it
really
was a little
hard
bit
to
loud.
make the game feel magical. particularly the parts where the player is trying to figure out the puzzles.
Being in a country like the Philippines where my hometown had about zero pollution, so looking at the stars was one of my hobbies, which is why Nightscape appealed to me a lot.
That's sweet.
There's about 65 million people in the MENA region who play games, and there's a very, very sparse amount of content being developed from within. We want to push that.
It's really cool to
boundary,
see
and we
how
wanna
like
create
now you
fun
get
and
people
meaningful
from
games
so many
with
different parts
the
of the world
Middle East in mind, utilizing its culture and rich
being able to
traditions
work
and
together
history
like this.
to really inspire ideas for games going forward.
I think inspiring is
build
a
a
good word
bridge
there to even
towards
say about this
understanding the Middle East better.
That's cool. That is very cool.
Is the world too much?
Stray Gods. Not familiar with this one.
Me. Everything I set upon unravels at
game.
my feet. Everything I've loved wasted on a girl who doesn't know how to be free.
Good voice.
The games industry is always absolutely convinced that we can only be this and this only until someone comes along and proves them wrong.
Stray Gods is a role-playing musical where you control the song. You play as Grace, a college dropout who's not quite sure what to do with her life.
A woman living in the modern world who encounters the last of the Greek muses.
Calliope?
Who dies in her arms, passes on her powers.
Straight nuts.
And Grace discovers that the Greek gods are alive and well and hidden in the modern world.
We think that Stray Gods kind of appeals beyond
I don't know what you mean by
video
that.
games. It's a really unique story.
It's like
and a
I had
unique
this game wish list. This is actually
There
cool.
are so many
This is a
elements
cool
that go into this game
concept.
to make it special that you can attach to any one of them and have an incredible experience.
Stray Gods is what we call a role-playing musical. It's not really a genre that's ever existed before.
You say you didn't kill
That's the
Calliope.
name of the game?
You have 1 week to prove it. What do I do?
Start singing.
Straight nuts?
This
No,
is
Straight
a
Gods.
game with branching
Stray
musical
Gods?
numbers where the
I don't
key
know
decisions in the
anymore.
story are made in
I have
musical
no
numbers
idea.
that change depending on your choices.
Lost girls, lost girls.
The way that we tackle music is one that people have never seen before. Boarding multiple branching paths that should link up to each other. There's a lot of considerations to factor in. It's very complicated, but it feels very worth it in the end.
Perfectly fine on her own.
So I wonder if you would get
We
like
got to
different
work with some
songs
of the
depending
best,
on what
the
way
most
you go.
talented voice actors in the world, the most talented people on Broadway. Like, what more could you ask for, really?
Being able to work with some champions like Austin Wintory, David Gator, Tribeca has been nuts.
At the end of the day, it came down to our composer, Austin. He works some kind of dark magic, and you get it all back, and you're like, don't know how you transformed that take into this, but it's absolutely amazing.
You'll have to see. You'll have to see.
We have such incredibly complex, thoughtful characters in this game. Every single character in the game has the potential to be a favorite.
My favorite character
This definitely
is
looks very
Eros.
interesting.
I really love Aphrodite. I think she is beautiful.
Oh, no, that's too hard of a question.
My favorite character is, I think, Orpheus.
My king, Orpheus. He's my favorite. It used to be Hermes, but Orpheus, emo king, love.
Look at me, who do you think I am? I'm saying Medusa. I am the #1 Medusa fan in the office.
I love Medusa, and I love Persephone.
It's kind of cute
and
that they
I
all
adore
like
Freddie,
different people.
But my favorite.
You can tell that like
reckon my
there's
favorite character's
every
Freddie.
character has
I'm really
been
gonna go
given
against Grant
thought
here.
and
My favorite
passion.
character is Freddie.
Everybody's going to say Freddy, so I thought I'd say someone else as well.
But my favorite. Oh, yeah, I'll say Freddie. But Medusa and Calliope and Persephone. Like, it's really hard.
Like the
Sorry.
fact that there's
There is
one
a
character
level
like
of belief
whatever
in the
that
studio
character,
in
you know.
the themes in this game and the stories that it's trying to tell and the people it's trying to involve and the people it's trying to talk to that I haven't seen on a lot of the games that I've worked on in my career.
It's really cool to see games that people, not that other
superstar
games,
group of
AAA games,
people.
people aren't,
It is
but like
a
it's really cool to
Ultron
see
of
these
game
games that people are very
development.
passionate
Early on,
and very like,
Liam made a conscious
I
effort to
love
make sure that
this, you
everyone
know?
that we hired culturally
This is
fit,
what
but
makes
also
this is the
had a
good
conscious
stuff.
effort
This
to
is
make
the
sure that
good
we weren't
stuff.
hiring the same kind of people.
difficult.
Every single person who came onto this project brought something wholly and uniquely theirs.
It's one thing to be able to hire to have diverse voices. It's also another thing to make sure that those voices are heard. It's just important for us that everyone, one, feels safe enough to share their opinion, and two, diverse enough that many opinions are shared from all sorts of walks of life.
At the end of the day, gaming is about joy, and I really like being reminded that making games can also be about joy.
That's awesome. Oh wow, they have a really good cast. Jeez. Oh no, that's a really good cast. How do you have 2 slides of names and everybody's good? Okay. 3rd of August. Okay. August 3rd. The Expanse. Telltale. Telltale is Tribeca now. Okay. They're artsy.
The Expanse is an exceptional intellectual property in that it's huge and that the characters are the forefront of what they are focusing on.
What is so compelling about it is that it works in several different mediums, right? I mean, we began with the books. And then
I don't know
think
these
what
books.
was so special about the television show was that it was almost like just another window.
This sci-fi was
looking in
amazing.
at the
I did
same
not
story.
know.
So what's unique about the way
Is
that
it a
we tell
movie?
stories
Is it
that
a?
we give
I
our
have
players
never
agency
heard of
over
The
the character
Expanse.
they're playing, which basically means that their choices
Never heard
shape
of The
the
Expanse.
overall story. So they're actually living in the story as opposed to just following along.
It
with
was on Prime. Okay.
When
it's
you're
a show.
adapting a television property into a video game property, you have to think about what the fan is expecting and when they're coming into. This takes place years before the first season. We're getting to see the world through Kamina Drummer's eyes. She is a belter, somebody who's out in deep space and has grown up there, has never set foot on a
TV
planet.
series,
So her
one of the best
perspective
TV sci-fi
is really
shows.
different.
Really?
It's hard for me
Maybe
to
I
look
should
at
check
these
it
moons
out.
without thinking about
I didn't
the other
even
research
know about
colonies
this show.
exploiting all the resources on them and giving nothing to the belt.
I hoped to portray her, especially at the beginning of the video game, as a little bit more vulnerable and open, and to see the events that
It's on my
caused
list.
her
I feel like I need to
harden.
watch the
Just
show
like
then.
series.
Maybe.
Bossing
I
everyone
didn't even-
around, only this time no dolls to keep you on the leash, yeah?
They improved the mocap, the facial mocap for Telltale.
A
Because the
really
last Telltale
awesome
game I saw, they
character
were
like
very...
Drummer deserves to have really interesting situations to be put in that fans have come to expect from the show, and now it's like they're getting to play an episode of The Expanse, but in video game form. We can do things like put zero G in the game, but we have to think about it from what's a good interaction medium, and changing that from
I
what
hope
you may have seen in the
new
show slightly
Telltale
to make
lives up
sure
to
that it's
like the
something that
best
you can grok
of old
immediately
Telltale.
and that feels
'Cause that
good
would
on
be
the
really
sticks,
cool.
but that is also representative of what you see in the show. Those characters have really complex issues that they're facing.
Did you like
regularly.
Battlestar
And in
Galactica?
narrative games,
Never
we wanna
even-
give
well, I've
players
heard of
these
it,
gray
but never
areas
watched it.
to
Never
really
watched
think, is this the answer I want
I don't even know what it
to
is
choose,
about,
or do I want to choose this answer? And that they both have their upsides and their downsides. And so The Expanse is perfect for that.
Drummer, his suit is punctured and losing pressure.
Yeah, I don't even
ball
have
and patch
a
him
clue
now
what
or
it's
he could
about.
die.
I always thought it was something like Star Trek, you know, with aliens and stuff like that, but I don't even know.
Can't afford to lose
I don't even know.
It was a really interesting challenge to come at the same character in a
If you like
completely
sci-fi,
different
those
medium.
two shows are
Deck
right
Nine
up
is a
there.
video game studio. We are known for our narrative, our characters, and our motion capture technology.
It's a completely blank white
Wait,
room.
who
You've got some
is
tape
known
on
for the
floor,
motion
maybe a
capture
few
technology?
Things made out of wire to show where a door frame might be or something like that. But otherwise, it's pure imagination.
I assume you didn't come here to talk about crystals.
We have a new target.
What is it this time, El Dorado? The Fountain of Youth? Let me guess. The Falcon Horde of Venus?
The UNN Urshanabi. Cap believes there's something valuable on board.
Something that we are
I
really
do enjoy
excited
sci-fi.
for people to experience
I'm a
in the
sci-fi
Expanse of
dude, I
Telltale
think.
series is the emotional performance that we're getting from our actors that comes through with our technology, and from our animators that really bring out the personality in these characters.
I work for you, but you don't own me.
Believe me, I'm well aware.
Just want to make sure you're not having second thoughts about our deal.
Oh, come on.
We're equal partners. We pay the crew, the costs, and the overhead.
The rest is 50-50. You and me.
I mean, that's the joy and the beauty of a job like this, is that I get to play.
We're hoping that you form these bonds with these characters and that they are something that you carry with you after you're done playing the game and you're thinking about it later. That to me is always a testament of good storytelling is, am I thinking about it long after I experienced the game itself?
This is interesting. Deck 9. I wonder if Telltale is being used more just as a... I don't even know if they're a proper studio anymore. Despelote.
I am Julián Cordero, and I'm the lead developer and programmer in Despelote. Despelote is a game about soccer, and it's a slice-of-life adventure game set in 2001, when Ecuador was really close to qualifying to the World Cup for the first time. Everybody was incredibly excited about this moment, and you see it through the eyes of an 8-year-old kid kicking a ball around with your friends in the park.
This is interesting, the way they did the backgrounds.
When I was
that's
I
interesting.
played a lot of soccer. In Ecuador, the culture of soccer is very big, and if you're a boy and you're not playing soccer, it's like hard to make friends. A lot of like my best friends I made were through
Same thing
playing
back
soccer.
home.
But then when I moved to the US, I wasn't really watching or playing soccer for a few years. That sort of made me like take a step back from it. I sort of like realized this, and I was like, oh, like this had such a big role in my life. I wanted to make this game to sort of like figure out what it was that was really interesting about soccer.
Not all games they are showing
when I started
are on
making
their
the game, the first thing I
Steam
focused on was
event
this like
page.
relationship with
It
the
might
ball
not be
and like making the
there
ball like
yet,
this
or is
physical
it just
object
not
that you're
on
kicking
Steam at
around.
all, maybe?
More than like creating like a soccer match, I knew that I wanted to just like your relationship with the ball and like how that sort of then relates to your environment. Immediately was thinking, okay, what should it look like? And there was this artist and musician, Sebastián. I really liked his work.
My name is Sebastián Balbuena, and I am in charge of the art in Despelote. That includes 2D animation, 3D modeling, and also the music. This is actually the first video game I have ever worked in.
I knew the game was going to be in 3D because I wanted the game to be like feel very physical and this like the physical connection with the ball.
We wanted to find a graphic style that could communicate emotions.
I'm kind of surprised that like
and
they
we
all
found that
speak
the
English.
2D hand-drawn animation was the best way to do that.
Oh yeah, this does
We
not
developed,
translate
the
well
art
to a
style sort of
stream.
around like his previous work and his style. It sort of feels very nostalgic to us to have these like backgrounds
The
with
compression
this, like, very
is
greeny
not gonna
aesthetic.
be nice
That
to
was
this
just very
game.
important to have that dynamic. The background being so
Not a good
noisy,
streaming
the
game.
characters being so like hand drawn and like so clean. As soon as like I was like, okay, well, what's the setting for this game? Like the only really idea I had was like where I have played soccer in my life, which is in Quito. That's where the game sort of had to be set. It became really important
Because with
for
the
us to,
art
like,
style,
capture Quito in a way that was like
it
very
looks
true
like
to
it could
us.
be
So we're using
photographs
pictures
because of
and
the art
buildings
style of the
are all
location,
real
but
buildings.
it can't be, right? It has
Some
to
of
be
the voices are from people that we knew. We wanted to
3D model,
have the same feeling
course.
that you get when you listen to people's
But the art
conversation
style,
in the street.
for some reason, seems more realistic to me than
That's why
it
we
actually
went with
looking
the
realistic.
improvisation for the dialogue.
Because it
all
looks like a
improvised.
photograph.
We like
or
approached a
something
lot
like
of friends and family in Ecuador. The parents are played by my own parents, so there's an interesting dynamic happening there as you run around as a kid. The scene we said is it's 2001. Ecuador is just coming out of this big economic crisis, and there's this idea we can qualify to the World Cup, and that's like really exciting. And it's been great because I think it's bringing in a lot of this like sort of communal understanding of the moment. So my parents aren't really big soccer people, but the excitement of qualifying to the World Cup was so big that even they were really excited about it.
Oiga, ya está jugando el Ecuador, vamos a ver. Todo el mundo está hablando de que este sí hay chance.
Capturing this moment in time was important because I think for my generation, the first time we qualified to the World Cup, it sort of meant like, oh, Ecuador is a tiny little country, but all of a sudden we were like in the world stage and we were like playing against Italy and like we were like in the big newspapers, and that felt like a really big thing. Pelota in Spanish means ball.
Well, the setting
and
is
despelote
actual
is
places
sort
in
of a
Ecuador.
saying
Yeah,
people have
yeah.
is like esto está
No,
hecho
it's
un
super cool.
despelote is like this is a mess. So it's sort of like a play on words, like ball
super cool.
and like mess. We're growing up
And
with this
it's
idea
a
of
nice
si
way to
se puede,
circumvent
which is what
the
people
issue of
chant
being
to
a
the soccer
small
team.
studio.
Which means, yeah, we can do it. Si se puede,
You know,
and si se
again,
pudo.
if they were to try to go with photorealistic,
like that's not something my
Ecuador,
parents were able to
that'd
like,
be
grow up
very
with. People like grasp
difficult
onto
for a
it so
small
much,
studio.
and I think it
But
like
choosing
really
this art style, it still
gave a
has
lot of
this
people so
oddly
much hope.
realistic
and I think
feel
for
to
me,
it.
like those,
Like
that
how
being
the
like one of my
trees,
earliest
the
memories,
ground, everything
it sort of made
looks
me
and
grow up
feels,
thinking like, oh yeah, like,
despite it being
yes,
monochrome,
we
essentially.
can. I hope that people really enjoy just running around in
Like
Quito.
for
I
some
think
reason, this
we've
looks
built it
real
in a way that is
to me. Like I guess it's
based
the
on a lot
shading
of
of
our
the
memories.
like,
Instead of like trying to
the
recreate
dithering. I don't
it
know how you even call it.
directly one to one.
But
It's
it
more
looks
like
more
a fuzzy
photographic
memory.
for some reason
And
to
I
me.
hope that feels very like transportive for people, and they can experience what this moment
Because like
in
it's
time
it's
in
a filter I guess you
was,
usually see in
and how I
photographs
felt
of
through that
actual
time.
real life video, not usually in video games. So I don't know. For some reason in my brain it's just like, oh, that looks realistic, despite being monochrome. You know. Hey! Oh! Hey! Oh! Hey! That was it. Yeah, I knew that this was gonna be more of a chill, chill thingy thing. I don't even know. I'm really tired. I did not sleep well last night. I'm just like, more of a chill stream. Well, yeah. Ooh. Excuse me. I don't mean to be rude. Is that it? Is that it? Oh, that's it. That's it. That's the Tribeca. Yeah, what do you guys think? I actually really like that. I feel like so many of the other ones, not all of them, but a lot of them, and this is not saying anything about the work of the developers, right? But a lot of them feel like very generic throwaway, where every single one of these seemed unique, thoughtful, caring. Like it really, every single game we saw, I was interested in. I thought it was cool. It had a cool concept to it. It had a cool difference to it. I cannot say that about any of the other presentations so far. And I think that is really cool. They put their hearts into it. Yeah, and I think like again, not all, but like most of the games we saw, especially the indie games, I'm sure that they put their hearts into it as well. But these guys are trying to dig deeper and find something more about it. And they're trying to do something special, something emotionally important. And I really respect that. Hello, AKO. Hello. How are you? Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, so we just finished watching the Tribeca game spotlight, and it was good. It was a good time. I really enjoyed it. I am tired. I just finished saying I'm tired. Today I'm kind of spent. Feel real spent. Oh. Don't mind me yawning. I didn't yawn. You yawned. But yeah, how has the busy been? Has it been bad busy or good busy? Yeah, I could take a nap. I have so much to do though. Would be probably not the best idea for me to go take a nap. Probably not the best idea. But, you know, that's it for today. Like in terms of spotlights and showcases. And let me lower it a little bit. And now it's just the normal stream later tonight. Later tonight we're gonna have a normal stream. Like homework busy, trying to get a game set up so I can play with pals. Yo, what game? Yeah, you had a nap. That's good, Mama Kira. I'm glad. I'm glad. You need some rest. You need some rest, dude. You're always working hard. GTA. Are you guys doing GTA RP? Are you guys GTA RPing? That would be fun. I always wanted to participate in the whole GTA RP thing at least once. I think that would be fun. Just act like your character. I have a hard time doing that though. I'm not gonna lie. I do have a hard time doing that where I always end up just wanting to be myself. Whatever it is. Yeah, I'm not sure how well I'll do as I don't do that sort of thing, but they want me to work at their ice cream store. It's serious RP thing though, so it's not a... Yeah. Like usually these are pretty serious RP. And that's what I'm curious. I would love to try that. I would love to try that at some point, but that seems super interesting. Are you gonna stream it? If you're gonna stream it, guys, you should check it out at Atomic Knockout. Oh, and if you're not gonna stream it, you should still check out Atomic Knockout. Cause AKO is pretty cool. They're pretty cool. If you disagree, then you should poo-poo. One day I will continue to stream. No! Did you discontinue? Are you discontinued? I gotta get the VOD set up before I stream again. Yeah, getting VOD set up is a good idea, like having a VODs channel and stuff like that. Not discontinued, just busy. Okay. That's fair. But yeah. I wonder if we can raid someone. Is anyone live? I always like raiding people. Because, you know. We don't usually get to raid Vepoli. So let's raid Vep. I haven't really raided. Vep is playing Figment. I took a test yesterday, and my next test is Monday. Is that your final test? Is that your final test, Rooney? No, I mean, oh no. I'm sorry, AJ. I hope you get some rest too at some point though. My last day of classes is in August. And then you start again, right? It just keeps going again and again. Here are the raid messages, as usual. Feel free to pick one. But we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. No! Well, I'm sorry. I hope you get to rest at some point. I hope. Yeah. Anyway, I will be back later tonight at the usual 8 p.m. EST. We're going to be trying something different. We're going to be trying the demo of Lies of P. And that is really cool. It's just the way it's meant to be. So like it really should be just the usual time that I tend to stream. Have a good day if I don't get to see you again. Yeah, have a good day too. And don't overdo it. And Mama Kire, hope you have a good trip. And I don't know who else is here. But yeah, everybody take care of yourselves. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.